the first thing that I became interested in was the journey, the sort of crime and punishment journey of the characters. And when I found out that the main guy who did it, the character that Gael plays, his father was a doctor. My father is a doctor as well. I think that was my connection to the story. And so that made me more interested in their own personal lives than in the heist itself, than in, they are very uncommon thieves. So for me, it was always about finding the inner journey of how a little kid who can be, who can do pranks in school, and how that someone like that suddenly becomes a world-class criminal,
Mm-hmm. When we wrote the screenplay, the three things, or one thing that we always, besides the relationship between the friends, between Wilson and Juan, and the relationship between the father, the other big issue that we always kept was this theme of looting, whether it's, looting, looting yourself even, looting your own nation, or who had the right to have the pieces in the museum. I think these themes came across when we wrote the script.
The hard part of doing something like this is how the real events kind of at some point become an obstacle in the telling of a good story, which is kind of what we ended up with, why tell the truth, why ruin a good story by telling the truth. We kind of, when we found that for ourselves, we discovered that we had to be more free with the story. The families of the real characters who did this crime didn't want anything to do with the film. Manuel reached out to them at the beginning, and they said, "Fuck off! We don't want. Please don't make this film." And I think in the end that was a gift. At first we saw it as an obstacle, but I think in the end it turned out as a gift, and it made us, find the story afresh. I am very interested in stories that celebrate the part of Mexico that I know. I come from a middle-class family. I'm not, I don't come from the slums. I'm sorry. I mean, it's not my fault. So I like to, there's many beautiful things also there, and troubling things as well, dark things. But I think Mexico is like such a vast and complex place that I am very much interested in celebrating my country. I'm very proud of it, and I'm very proud of having shot in the Mayan ruins of Palenque and in that wonderful museum, and I think just showing that is like, being able to shoot there deserves a celebration. So we try to honor that with the film.
Like Alonso had said, this is a project that I've been researching and doing for a long time.
Sorry, we have a little very welcome interruption.
Hello.
You want to sit here?
¿Qué tal?
Chair, please.
We have a chair for you here, if you don't mind. Okay, does he have one? Okay, so you should. You know who this is? Please welcome Gael, Garcia, Bernal. Thank you for coming.
I think there was nobody else, so he was the last on the list, and like we went through everyone, and no. He was like the first person I thought like who had the traits. He's short, like me. No, he had to be charming and dark as well, and kind of, when I see his films, sometimes I never know what's going on behind his gaze, and I really liked that for Juana. That was very important from what I said at the start, not to be able to know exactly, to pinpoint what he's thinking. I find that disturbing with him when I talk to him. He's like looking at me like, and I say he wants to kiss me or punch me. Or I like working with friends. You know, I think film is painful enough, so I think you should try to be surrounded by friends as much as you can.
From the moment that Alonso approached me to talk about this, which was, gotta say, many years ago, almost doing an actual story that just happened. No, but it was like 4 years, 3 years, 4 years ago or something. It was something that it was a must, you know, to do and to because I admire Alonso's work a lot, and we share a friendship from a long time ago. So it was definitely something that we had to, I don't know, had to participate, and wanted to do a film in Mexico as well. You know, it's just, I mean, and the story, of course, and then just everything comes together. But it was Alonso who brought me into this, so it is through him that I kind of decide what to do.
Presenting here in the Berlinale is fantastic. I mean, yesterday we did the screen tests, and it was a dream. You know, I had chills just being there with the empty hall and watching my film in that big screen. I thought it's never going to look like this again. You know, it was beautiful. So it's beautiful. I mean, I love this place. I love the fact that it's the only festival that sells tickets for every single show, every single showing, and it's more about the people than critics and all that. So I think it's a beautiful place.